Hey everyone, if you thought Spider-Man 2 was big, you haven't seen anything yet. Thanks to one of the biggest gaming leaks in history, we now have a pretty clear picture of where Insomniac is taking the Spider-Man series. And it's shaping up to be their most ambitious project ever. We're talking massive story arcs, multiple playable spider heroes, the return of fan-favorite villains, and possibly the boldest plot twist in Marvel gaming history. But along with all that hype comes controversy. Leaked plans suggest Spider-Man 3 could be split into two full-priced games, raising big questions about pacing, value, and whether Insomniac can actually pull it off. In this video, we're breaking down every detail from the leaks, the roadmap, gameplay changes, story beats, villains, and the theories that could change how you see the future of the series. If you want to play all the latest games without any issues, you need a powerful CPU like the AMD Ryzen 7 5700X3D, an absolute beast for gamers and enthusiasts. I got mine from AliExpress, and I couldn't be happier. Why AliExpress? Because it's an amazing platform with unbeatable prices, fast shipping, an enormous selection, and most importantly, the best deals thanks to frequent sales and discounts. So, if you are looking to upgrade your PC, I highly recommend checking out the AMD Ryzen 7 5700X3D. AliExpress offering up to 80% off site-wide. And the best part is that you can receive further discounts through using these codes. Want to grab this CPU or other awesome projects? Click the link in the description and use my promo codes for extra discounts. Happy shopping! Most of the leaks we're talking about here trace back to the big Insomniac data breach, something pretty much every gamer with even a passing interest in the industry has at least heard about. The official stuff mainly centers around the studio's roadmap, basically the projects they have planned for the next several years. According to that roadmap, this year was supposed to see, or maybe still will see, a Venom spin-off titled Lethal Protector, focusing on Eddie Brock's canonical return as the symbiote's host. Then, in 2026, we're getting a solo Wolverine game. From there, things get even bigger. Between late 2027 and early 2028, we're looking at Spider-Man 3. Part 1, followed just a year later by Part 2. Then, in 2029, there's a brand new Ratchet & Clank title, and after that, multiple X-Men games and entirely new Marvel IPs. Now, here's the part that's got fans debating, splitting Marvel's Spider-Man 3 into two parts. The leaks claim this is meant to match the scale of something like Infinity War and Endgame, with Brian Intihar, Insomniac's creative director, comparing Part 1 to an MCU-style Infinity War moment. Part of me gets it. They want to go big, and a two-part structure gives them room for a massive story. But let's be real, splitting it like this can backfire hard. Fans don't want to feel like they're buying the same game twice, especially if Part 2 just recycles most of Part 1 with a few minor updates. Insomniac's turnaround time between releases makes it unlikely they'll push big graphical or gameplay changes in just 1 year. As for platforms, all spin-offs before Spider-Man 3, like the Venom game and a possible Miles Morales Silk spin-off, will likely stay on PS5. But Spider-Man 3 itself, that's almost certainly going to be a PlayStation 6 exclusive. The release window in the leaks is shaky at best. We still haven't even gotten a proper trailer for the Venom spin-off, not even a formal announcement, so I wouldn't be shocked if it's been quietly shelved. Plus, much of Insomniac's Spider-Man team is currently knee-deep in Wolverine, which makes me question whether they can realistically hit a 2027 release for Part 1. Gameplay-wise, I wouldn't expect Spider-Man 3 to reinvent the wheel. Sony's first-party sequels are often safe, the same core gameplay with improved visuals and some small new features. Just look at Spider-Man 1 versus Spider-Man 2. Web-swinging, physics, and overall feel will likely stay familiar. And honestly, I'm fine with that, as long as they bring back some of the gadgets fans missed in Spider-Man 2. Insomniac's own internal notes apparently say they plan to gather feedback and double down on what players loved while fixing the major complaints. Casual players praise the combat and traversal, so you can bet those will be front and center again. More hardcore fans, though, have been asking for deeper wall-crawling mechanics and animations that don't float. And I'm not sure Insomniac will prioritize that. The leaks also confirm we'll have 3 playable Spider characters: Peter Parker, Miles Morales, and Cindy Moon, Silk. Insomniac reportedly wants them to feel very different in playstyle. Peter as the tank, Miles as the stealth expert, and Silk as a speed gadget specialist. That's a promising setup, but it's only going to work if each gets meaningful content. In Spider-Man 2, Miles felt sidelined until the final act, and I'd hate to see Silk end up in the same boat. Story-wise, Intahar's Infinity War comparison makes it clear this is the most important chapter yet. The Green Goblin is set up to be the big bad, a payoff teased since the first game. But fans are also buzzing about the possibility of adapting the Superior Spider-Man arc, given Spider-Man 2's post-credit scene with Otto Octavius and Norman Osborn. In that comic storyline, Otto swaps bodies with Peter and becomes a harsher, deadlier Spider-Man, before eventually realizing Peter was the true hero all along. The leaks back this up, mentioning a Goblin Nation storyline where Norman commands an army of enhanced soldiers. If Insomniac goes that route, it could mean a huge emotional payoff, possibly even Peter's death or the loss of someone close to him. Personally, I think they might adapt Gwen Stacy's death scene from the comics, but with Mary Jane in her place. The timing would be brutal, just as Peter and MJ's relationship finally starts to recover. And if you followed Spider-Man's stories for any length of time, you know that's exactly when tragedy tends to strike. Other villains are also on the table. Carnage is mentioned in the leaks, though without the R rating he really deserves, his full brutality may be toned down. Still, seeing auto-controlled Spider-Man go toe-to-toe with Carnage could be wild. Side content will apparently be more engaging this time, with villains like Sandman, Taskmaster, Kingpin, Silver Sable, Black Cat, Mysterio, Tombstone, Chameleon, Wraith, Prowler, and maybe Rhino all making appearances. Some of these, plus a few new faces, could form a new Sinister Six under Goblin's leadership. If all of this comes together, Spider-Man 3 could be the most ambitious superhero game ever made. But it's also walking a tightrope between fan expectations, Sony's release schedule, and Insomniac's bandwidth. If they stick the landing, it could be a modern classic. If not, it risks being remembered as the moment they overreached. Looking at all the leaks, rumors, and insider chatter, Marvel's Spider-Man 3 is shaping up to be a game that could either redefine superhero storytelling in gaming or become one of the most polarizing releases in PlayStation history. Splitting it into two parts has the potential to deliver a cinematic-scale narrative on par with Infinity War and Endgame, but it also risks burning fan goodwill if Part 2 feels like a lightly updated continuation rather than a true evolution. From a story perspective, the combination of the Superior Spider-Man arc, the rise of Goblin Nation, and the emotional stakes of possibly losing Mary Jane could give us the most intense and personal Spider-Man game ever made. On the gameplay side, the idea of 3 distinct playable heroes is exciting, but only if Insomniac makes sure Miles and Silk have their own meaningful roles instead of being sidelined until the final act. Personally, I think this is Insomniac's chance to stick the landing and deliver something truly unforgettable, but it's also a balancing act between fan expectations, Sony's publishing strategy, and the studio's workload. If they pull it off, Spider-Man 3 could become the gold standard for superhero games. If they stumble, it could mark the start of franchise fatigue. What about you? Do you think splitting Spider-Man 3 into 2 parts is a bold move that will pay off, or a mistake waiting to happen? And which storyline do you most want to see adapted in the game? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. For more updates on Marvel's Spider-Man 3 or other gaming content, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Until then, stay safe.